Morgan, you're the Bay Harbor butcher. Sergeant Dokes might have found out it was Dexter all along, but now we're going to find out who has the number one death in Dexter Season 2. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. Only 10 main character deaths. Well, I say main character. Only 10 relevant deaths in Season 2 of Dexter, which seems like a backward step from Season 1. But here, there was some really, really good deaths, so sometimes quality over quantity isn't necessarily a bad thing. So we're going to go through them in order of worst death to best death. You can probably guess who's got the top spot, but maybe we will surprise you. So, with that said, let's just get straight into it. Let's waste no more time. Let's go with death number 10, and it is Paul Bennett. I like Paul Bennett. I think he's a good character. Even his one appearance in Season 2, well, the appearance that he is alive in the first episode, I think it was a good episode. He's paranoid about Dexter. He thinks that Dexter put him in there. He hit him. He drugged him. It turns out that's true, and I guess Paul Bennett didn't take the news too well that Rita wasn't going to get him out. He started mouthing off to the wrong people in prison, and I guess he found out that in prison it's maybe not as easy to beat your wife as it is to beat your inmates, and he ended up losing his life.
I like that line. That was a very good line. But yeah, he's probably in the prison line, waiting to get some food, and he started on the wrong guy from the hood, and he got killed.
What I will say is a bit of a surprise death here. I was not expecting it first time watching Dexter, and you get the phone call at the end that Paul is dead. That's not what I was expecting to happen. I thought this story had a bit of legs here. I thought we would see Paul trying his best to make an appeal here, try and get out of prison, maybe redeem himself, maybe him and Dexter would meet one-on-one down the line. Didn't happen, and Paul Bennett met his untimely end. So yeah, Paul Bennett coming in at number 10. Good character, but it was an off-screen death.
I tell you what, I could definitely have seen a storyline where Miguel wanted to kill this guy, but Dexter couldn't. And I think that would have went down quite well.
Damn. Coming at number 9, we have Ken Olsen. So Ken Olsen didn't really do much. He was trying to be the Bay Harbor Butcher 2.0, trying to help out the Butcher, aka Dexter. Dexter then finds him, tracks him down. Ken Olsen goes, "Come on, man, I'm just like you. We can team up." And Dexter's like, "Well, that's the problem. You're a killer, just like me, and I kill people." And then Dexter, he kills Ken Olsen. Wasn't the greatest character, wasn't the greatest death. Is what it is.
Forgettable. Happened on screen, though.
Yeah, coming in at number 9. Coming in at number 8, we have Curtis Barnes. So he killed his wife. He was trying to make the escape. He was trying to cross the border, get out of America, and he wanted Dokes to basically do him a favour. Do your old pal cop a good deed here, but Dokes played it down the book. You know, he played it down the middle. He was like, "Nah, you got to come with me. You got to come for some questioning." But Curtis Barnes never gave Dokes that option. It was either Curtis Barnes was going to kill Dokes and try to escape, or he was going to force Dokes into killing him. And I guess Dokes became a killer, but they took him out.
Dokes became a killer. Couldn't have been too much of an old pal, though, because fuck me, man. If you know Dokes, he's just never going to agree to this. So what was this guy's plan? Honestly, idiotic.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they were really pals, but I mean...
If he knew of him and he knew him to trust him enough to do this, then you must have knew him enough to not fucking trust him to do this, because he's a straight shooter.
Yeah, I can't imagine Dokes bending the rules like that. Coming at number 7, we have Roger Hicks. Now, I think Roger Hicks might be the best Dexter character that we have seen through the first 2 seasons that only had one episode. In terms of characters that have appeared in only one episode, I would have to strongly push Roger Hicks as the best character.
I'd strongly push him to the top as well. Here, I'm not saying I think about the guy every day, but I mean, as a one episode character, I think that scene with him and Dexter in the parking lot's fantastic.
But unfortunately, he gets taken out in the end. But even his death, you know, he's still on his back. He's still trying to bullshit, and in the end, it's almost like Dexter's getting lessons from Roger Hicks on how to lie. How can I be so full of shit like you? But Roger Hicks talks about Rita. He calls her a nasty word. Dexter didn't approve of it, and that just quickened up the process. And Dexter brought his big knife down into the heart of Roger Hicks. But very funny character there. Just a shame we didn't get more of him. Coming in at number 6, we got Santos. Jimenez probably put it above the rest of the deaths because it gives Dexter some closure. He finally gets to take out the third man that was responsible for killing his mother. I'm just surprised that Dexter never took him out the first opportunity that he got.
Yeah, he waited a wee bit. It was a wee bit delayed on Dexter's behind here, but I like this death. It was closure. It was there. It's a proper story arc. It's pretty much existed since the show began. His mother's killer. So I liked it.
Yeah, Dexter then, second chance he got, he was not going to let it go. Now we're moving into the top half of the deaths. Coming at number 5, we have Not So Little Chino. He was big, Chino. He was a big problem, but in the end, Dexter finally took him down. First of all, with some sort of like a horse tranquilizer, neck taser sort of thing that you would use on an animal.
Aye.
Dexter used it on this guy. His first attempt at killing Little Chino didn't go to plan, didn't use enough
Chloroform, whatever.
No, wrap.
Oh, aye,
Plastic wrap.
He got cling wrapped like a Subway man.
And he broke
a foot
free.
long. Broke free.
Second time though, Dexter used a shitload more wrap, and he also lured him in by having one of those kids that he was ratting on. So yeah, he lured big Little Chino in, and then he took him out and he got his kill. So yep, but like Dexter says, it doesn't matter how big they are, they're all the same size when he puts them in the little blood slide. And that is true.
That is true.
Unless he takes like multiple drops of blood.
Here, no, he's right, but when you're chopping him up, Dexter, it's harder to get rid of a Little Chino than it is a midget or something.
We're going to need a bigger ocean.
Exactly. Bigger ocean here.
Coming in number 4, we have Jose Garza. Pretty good death because it is one of maybe the first death that we have seen in Dexter where he kills somebody with a witness.
With a witness?
Could be the first death so far where we see... Yeah, I think it is the first death that we see so far with Dexter killing somebody as a witness.
Unless Harry Morgan walked in on a flashback.
Yeah, so we have Dexter just bringing this guy in, this drug dealer, slams him on the table. Dokes is looking on, Dokes is trapped, and Dokes knows what's coming next. Dokes pleads with Dexter not to do it, but Dexter's like, don't worry about it. Dokes, I'm not gonna make you witness this. So he like puts this like plastic wrap up, but it's like not see-through, it's not clear, it's not transparent. But Dokes still sees the blood. He still sees the blood, and he just hears like the chainsaw go in to Garza, and then the blood just leaks everywhere, and it's like good night for Jose Garza. So he comes in number 4. Coming number 3, we have the Famosa brothers. Dokes, when he originally escaped, he thought he was going to get away. He ran into these two guys, and I mean, the worst thing he could have told them was that he was a cop, because they were obviously into drugs, and yeah, he told them they were a cop, and that led to him getting hit in the back of the head. Bad idea. They then tried to use Dokes as, I guess, some slave labour, get him to move their drugs. Racism. Then
in the heat of Miami,
Dexter finally caught up, and we got Dexter and Dokes working together to take these guys out. But as soon as they were taken out, Dokes had to resume his position, and that being inside Dexter's cage. So he's coming in. Those two are coming in at number 3. Coming in number 2, we have, which one's it going to be? There's 2 deaths left. Who's going to get it? Are we going to get the death in America? Or are we going to get the death in, I believe it's France?
Crackers in Paris.
Yeah, Paris. And it is the Paris death. So it's number 2, Lila. I think this is so funny when she arrives at her apartment. So we see her escape during the episode. She gets back to France, back in Europe. She thinks she's okay. She thinks that Dexter's probably dead at this point anyway, because she did leave him for dead. And she gets in, she's reading through her mail, and there's a postcard with Sergeant fucking Dokes' face on it.
Brilliant. And surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it's... Would that have been corny, or would that have made it better if it was actually surprise motherfucker on it? Imagine it was a card, like a birthday card, and you open it up and it's got the wee audio. This is
but see,
that would have been cheap.
Dexter only knows that he said surprise motherfucker.
Aye, she doesn't.
It would be more Dexter like having fun at Dokes' expense when he's dead. I don't know, it would have came a bit.
But it was funny, she looks at the postcard, she's got Dokes' face smiling, and then she gets the needle from behind, and she doesn't think, it can't end this way, and Dexter's like, nah, it has to end this way.
Could you argue it's a bit far-fetched that Dexter flew all the way to Paris to commit this?
He's a committed guy. I think
No,
Dexter.
he is a committed guy, but I mean, it's hard sneaking out and pretending that you're a killer. But I mean, fucking going to a different country.
He probably
Continent?
got. Yeah, I know, but he probably maybe got a 1 day return.
Oh, maybe he did.
So yeah, then he just stabs Lila. I wonder what he did do with the body though. That I don't think we ever find out.
Yeah, buried it in the Paris catacombs.
Just stabs Lila in the chest, and then we don't really know what happens there. Lila dies. Coming to number 1 though, we have Sergeant James Stokes. I mean, what a death it is. This guy's just so fucking unlucky. Tried to escape multiple times. He managed to convince Dexter not to kill him. He almost managed to convince Dexter to turn himself in and allow Stokes to escape. He then thinks that I mean, when he did escape, he ran into 2 drug dealers, and he probably would have been okay if he didn't tell them he was a cop. Then somebody finds the abandoned cabin that he's been kidnapped in, and it happens to be probably the only person that wouldn't help him. The only person that was so fixated with Dexter that she would commit a murder in order to try and help Dexter. So just unlucky. Anyone else comes across him and he gets saved here, but Lila West comes across Stokes. She doesn't rescue Stokes. She feels sorry for somebody being trapped here, but she's not referring to Stokes. She's referring to Dexter being all alone. Then she sets on the gas canister. Stokes manages to escape, but the door has been padlocked, so he can't get out. He runs back to try and shut off the gas, but big explosion, big ass explosion, and there was nothing left of Stokes until pretty much they found him later on in the episode, and it was just a bit crispy at that point.
Yeah, it's funny though, because he ended up in the bits that Dexter would have cut him up to if he decided to kill him. So, ended the same way. Just a wee bit crispier.
Would Stokes have survived if he attempted to turn off the gas straight away rather than run for the door? I feel like that's one of those, like, like one of those submissive, supermissive games where, like, an Until Dawn, where you've got...
like an interactive game when you can...
Are you going to do this, are you going to do that? And you don't know what the right decision is. But with hindsight, would Stokes have survived if he just turned off the gas straight away?
What you could say is, well, if you're going to get to the door in time, you may as well get to the gas in time. Because that guarantees that you wouldn't die. But then if he turns off the gas...
Couldn't turning off the gas set off ignite?
I don't think it would, but then you could argue there's enough gas in the room anyway to ignite.
Just ignite,
yeah, because the gas has to move along. It doesn't really matter about the amount pumping through. It's a tough one. I mean, he was fucked either way. I mean... What he probably would have had to done...
You see him reaching for it, and then he just gets engulfed in the flames. And I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was. I mean, his best bet was probably jumping in a fridge. Just spawned in the room or something, but that wasn't going to happen for him.
Could we have got a motherfucker before, or do you think the silence was...
Yes, Mark 5, motherfucker.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's our list, guys. That's our top 10. There only was 10, so there you go. Everybody made it into the top 10. Let us know what you think down below. We'll catch you in the next one. Up next, though, we have ranking all the Season 2 Dexter characters. Stokes made it to the top of the deaths. Can he make it top of the characters? I would say he's got a very good chance of that. We will catch you in that one. Till next time, peace.